Hi, I'm Dr. Richard Jermyn. I'm the Interim Dean of Rowan-Virtua School of Osteopathic Medicine. I'd like to welcome you to the videocast series where I'll be highlighting various thought leaders that contribute to the mission of moving the medical school forward. Today I invite Dr. Anthony Lowman, the Provost of Rowan University. Tony is a globally recognized innovator in biomedical engineering and a prolific entrepreneur. He was appointed to the position of Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs July 1st of 2019. Previously, he served as Dean of the Henry M. Rowan College of Engineering. In that role, he was instrumental in fostering the college's unprecedented growth, launching of nationally recognized research centers in transportation engineering, and advanced materials, forming important industry partnerships, and creating a PhD program and new departments in biomedical engineering and experimental engineering education. He's an expert in biomaterials, controlled drug delivery, and polymer science and engineering. He has more than 20 U.S. and worldwide patents issued. His work has attracted more than $20 million in funding. He was Chief Technical Officer and co-founder with the startup company Gelaflex Incorporated, a firm that emerged as a result of hydrogel technology research conducted in his laboratory. He's a CTO and co-founder of Gel Tech Incorporated, which is developing non-invasive implants for treatment of degenerative disc disease. He has been elected as a Fellow of the National Academy of Inventors and the American Institute of Medical and Biological Engineers. Welcome, Dr. Lowman.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
I want to really kind of pick your brain, if that's okay, this morning.
That sounds great.
So one of the things when I became the interim dean, you brought everyone together because you were very excited about our new college, the Virtual Health College of Medicine and Life Sciences. And you brought this whiteboard up and you started drawing. And I have to tell you, I actually have a picture of it. I may flash it on the screen in the future. But in it, you really showed a vision where you have three colleges or schools underneath this umbrella. And in it was the Rowan-Virtua School of Osteopathic Medicine, the School of Translational and Biomedical Engineering and Sciences, and the Rowan-Virtua School of Nursing and Health Programs. So I want to ask you, why was this important to develop?
That's a loaded question. I almost wish I had the whiteboard with me today.
We'll flash it in a minute.
Yeah, that's great. But as you mentioned, I've been provost 4 years. I was dean nearly 7 years. And I can say that the development of this college, and you know all the things we're doing, has probably been one of the most exciting academic endeavors I've undertaken in my career. And why is it? Because what we're doing is we're taking a nationally recognized school of osteopathic medicine, the largest one in the state of New Jersey, I believe the second largest one in the U.S. if I'm
correct.
I'm correct, and probably one of the largest feeders of doctors to certainly South Jersey and probably New Jersey as a whole, and taking that together with a forward-thinking health system that I think has similar ambitions to Rowan University, and saying what more could we do, and what more is taking this program, looking at healthcare delivery in South Jersey and beyond, adding in other layers of education. Nurses, respiratory therapists, soon-to-be physician assistants, and on and on and on. And what is the next generation of training healthcare professionals together in a collaborative setting? And then, oh, by the way, on top of that, adding innovative, cutting-edge research and taking these folks we're training and putting them side by side with research leaders and saying, let's get our hands dirty and come up with the next generation of technologies. So being the school that trains them and the school and health system that puts them to work in our communities, and also the school and health system that is putting these new technologies to practice. So to me, there couldn't be a more exciting proposition than putting these pieces together.
And I'll tell our audience that when you looked at your whiteboard,
and I wanted to start writing.
You did,
right
it was
there. I
everywhere,
wanted to do everything I could to
arrows
keep my
and circles
hands. To keep my hands right there was very, very hard.
And I think, so when we look at this and you take people that have kind of been in their own worlds or silos, you have the School of Osteopathic Medicine, research, and then the nursing, and now we're all one. So my question to you as the provost is, what is the key factor, in your opinion, that's needed for success to make all of this work?
Well, you mentioned silos, and we started to do this, and we started to talk to the stakeholders, and why this worked, and this worked in unprecedented speed that I've seen in higher ed. And I've been in higher ed 20 years. I've been at 3 research universities in my career in various leadership positions and faculty positions, and I've never seen groups so ready to move out of their silos and do more. That's a fact. That was the most important thing. If the faculty of SOM didn't want to do this, if the faculty of our nursing program or School of Health Professions or even the Lord's faculty didn't want to do this, we would have never moved the speed. And then you take our researchers, which straddle SOM already today, straddle our main campus, engineering, straddle our other medical school in Camden. If the players hadn't come to the table and said, yes, we want to do this, this wouldn't have happened. So the most important part is the pieces and then the leaders that are shepherding it.
The fact that now we even have engineers that want to work with the faculty, that alone was a huge plus. And now bringing in nursing, and you mentioned, interprofessional research, interprofessional training and education. I think that's the future. It should be here and now, but it's really not yet, right? When we look at this on a higher level, but we all have to get there, and it's just going to keep growing.
And we're heading there. I mean, look what we've done in such a short time. We've got, SOM, I want to say in 2020 or 2021, moved into beautiful brand new simulation labs.
Yes.
And we had a whole floor of sim labs sitting open. And in 6 months, who's there now? The former Our Lady of Lourdes, now Virtua nursing school that we'll be integrating in our program is operating in the School of Osteopathic Medicine. They're already there, side by side, day by day. And we talk silos and we talk people. Is how many people out of the sim labs have come to me and say, hey, Tony, how can we help? How can we be a part of it? And that's why this is going at the pace it's going, is because people see it and people want to be a part of it. Look, I'm provost. I want to be part of it as a faculty member. So guess where I've put my faculty position? My faculty position now is in this new School of Translational Biomedical Engineering and Sciences. And the day that I'm not doing it, that's where I'm going to be faculty.
So you mentioned research and sort of this kind of foundation and building this new translational research school that we're all working together. I'm going to quote you because you gave a video cast a couple years ago, and in it you said, I'm going to paraphrase it, but pretty close to what you said, research isn't something you're going down the hall to see. We engage students and make it a part of the student's experience. How is that, in your opinion, important for our medical students that are listening to this right now?
So you're going back on my former comments, and they're so relevant to what we're talking about today. As an engineer, as a dean of engineering, as an associate dean, as a faculty member in engineering, I firmly believed in experiential education for engineers. That meant not just going out and doing an internship, but being in the lab, working, with the faculty, with the graduate students, as our undergraduates, as making that part of their experience. And I think that helps us train broader thinking, better engineers. And in my role of provost, I have that view of our education for all of our students. I look at different faculty reviews in different areas, and the one thread that always comes back is experiential education, practical education for our students. And where does that start? It starts in research. So that's where our students need to be as part of that. Look, as a researcher, I've had plenty of medical students come through my labs because of the nature of my work. And that's, I think, the future of this school is really integrating the medical students with the research opportunities. I think not just the medical students, our nursing students, our respiratory therapy, our physician assistants. I mean, they all should have that opportunity for the experience. Their training shouldn't just be in a sim lab, shouldn't just be in a healthcare setting, but in a research lab, putting these things to practice, seeing what things go to practice. Because I think it's going to be a better, more well-rounded doctor or nurse or health professional that we're going to put in the field if they have experience in looking at what's the newest, what's the latest and greatest in technology.
Absolutely, and creating it and helping being part of that.
And putting into their mind is creating some level of an entrepreneurial mindset. And when I say entrepreneur, I don't mean everybody's going to go out and start their own company, but what I see is everybody being entrepreneurial in their day-to-day life, in their day-to-day job, and innovate.
Talk to me about innovation. You started your own company, as I mentioned before. Tell us a little bit about your research.
So my research, it's going to be a longer answer to the question than I think you're getting, but so I grew up. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. I wanted to fix things, and unfortunately, fainting in a cadaver lab, fainting at blood drives at the sight of just a needle, not even the blood, just the sight of a needle is enough to put me at risk of falling down. I was advised maybe the medical profession isn't a good one for you. So that really spurred my interest in biomedical engineering. And I went first the chemical engineering route, and then for my doctoral research was biomedical engineering. But what I focused on were drug delivery, biomaterials, and how could I still do what I wanted to do is create solutions to problems and help people and really look at medical devices. So that my research drifted into that area. And looking at practical solutions. So my research areas right now, I still have work in drug delivery and in some things, which may need to another company, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. But right now we have a company that incubated out of our technology park, Regeltech, and we're looking at creating devices for solving degenerative disc disease, and it's a huge problem. Lower back pain certainly resonates with anybody our age, but it's a huge societal problem. It's a big healthcare burden. There are no really good solutions for people suffering from degenerative disc disease that are alternatives to very invasive surgeries.
Absolutely.
And so we have a minimally invasive injection of a hydrogel into discs that could be done in outpatient settings where a patient can come in, get their gel injection, and be out within 2 to 3 hours walking. So we've treated 70 patients out of the U.S. so far with excellent clinical results at 2 years for one cohort, at 1 year for the first 60 patients, and now we're seeing patients coming in for their 3-year follow-up that have pain relief and the ability to go back to their everyday activities, playing golf, doing judo, playing ice hockey, you name it, they're doing it. Firefighter. So that's very rewarding to see your research translated into a clinical setting.
I think that's what we're about.
For me to be there and have been working on a project like this for 20 years and actually talk to a patient who was younger than me, and having them say to me, I want to be able to, after this procedure, be able to pick up my daughter without pain. And I know she's doing it now, which is really incredible to see. But that's why we do this. And that's what we're looking for. That's the experience. And what's been rewarding for me is one of my partners in this venture, who's also a faculty member now, has started with me as an undergraduate student working on this project and has done a doctorate. As a faculty member himself, is training students in the lab, and some of our employees are Rowan undergraduates that have had a chance to work on this. And so it's that whole environment we've created where we're training students, we're helping people, and eventually we'll create a business that hopefully can help drive the economy and give back to the Rowan Venture Fund for the investment in us. So I think there's so many layers of doing that, and I think as an academic institution, I think we should be doing it, but I think the vision of the Virtua Health College is that's the type of research that we want doing. That's the type of interaction we want with a clinician and an engineer and a scientist and graduate students, medical students, nursing students, all working on it. And I'd be remiss I forgot to say this in the success. The most important part of the success, besides what we do at Rowan, is a willing partner that we have in Virtua.
Yes.
And we could propose to do all these things on our own, and great, we could do them. But it took a partner like them to believe in Rowan's vision, which other health systems have heard from us and said, you guys are crazy, thanks, but no thanks. But for them to buy in and see that, hey, this vision, this is the future of higher education. This is our future workforce. This is our future folks who will be out in the communities serving our patients. And this is the place where we can help be part of developing solutions to our problems. So you had to have a system that was willing to buy in and invest in a number of ways. One, through their philanthropic investment into the partnership is amazing, but two is they're investing internally in rethinking how do they become part of medical education. And you see that on a day-to-day of what they've done in training our medical students. So, we can show them these examples, because Tech is just one example. We have a number of amazing technologies coming out of our colleges, not just faculty, but students. And for them to see that and buy in, and some people might call it crazy, being just as crazy as we are to do this is, that's the path to success. So that was a long answer to your research question, but hey, I got there.
Dr. Lowman, Tony, I just want to thank you for giving us your time today, your vision. I think what we learned about our provost today, innovator, researcher, and healer.
Healer? Oh, I wouldn't call myself a healer.
Well, you're putting gel in people to restore their function.
I'm not
That's
putting it
healing.
in. I can't remember. It's a needle, and I can't watch the needle.
You contribute to healing people, and we appreciate that. As a pain management doctor, I can tell you that's healing. And I want to thank you for your work. It's critical, and leading this forward. I'm so excited about our future. And I want you to come back and tell us about more in the future.
I'll be back.
Thank you. I'm going to hold you to that.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for what you do. How about that? Thank you for stepping up and leading this great college through this transition.
My true honor and pleasure. Thank you, everybody. See you next month with our next speaker. Have a great day.